Hi guys, it's Kay Comer in here with you again this morning. This is day 2 of our week-long let's make a book together. Let's make a little mini book together. So this is going to be a very short video. I did have one request to read that poem at the end or during another video. So at the very end, I'm going to read that memories poem for a couple of friends that wanted to hear the whole thing. So, but we're going to do this part first, so that will be at the end if you don't want to hear that and you want to just go on with your day. It's only like 9:40 and I've already lost control of my day, so I'm ready to get with it too. This is what I've done to finish my page. I showed you just a little bit of it yesterday. I've added some creepy cloth up here, a bow, a bell, some buttons, Amazing Grace, piece of cloth up here and a pin and a bow, some creepy cloth down here, and I just pinned that in there, and then I glued that to that. And then that hymn says Amazing Grace. Put a love sticker here. I haven't attached these pages yet, and you can see through there some white. That's what I've got set aside for the next page. This is the image I showed you yesterday. Love this image. I still feel like something needs to go up here. It says Jesus loves me, this I know. So supposedly that's what she's playing on the piano. This is little fabric cloth, flower and some creepy cloth and a piece of cloth underneath that. Down here it says Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, and the older folks will remember that, you old ladies that are old like me. That was in the 50s and maybe even in the 60s, but we had sunbeams and RAs and all that, GAs. So at our Baptist churches, I don't know about the other churches, but anyway, we sang the song Jesus Wants Me for a Sunbeam. And then a button, some creepy cloth fabric down here. Love that image. I have a hard time with pages that don't have enough on them. Blank spots kind of give me the willies. But so I'll probably have something up here when you see this later. I don't know what it's going to be because that space is not that big, but maybe just a little creepy cloth or something up there. I've had several questions come in privately on Facebook private messenger. One of them was, how do I decide what I'm going to put in a page? I like very, very vintage, very, very grungy. I like for it to have kind of a feminine touch, kind of a warm and fuzzy touch. Now, I'm not into lacy clothes and all that stuff. Fancy clothes, you know, name brand, I couldn't give a rip about name brand clothes. If somebody wants to put my name on their clothes, they can, but I'm not putting anything on with anybody's name on it. I just don't care to do that. But anyway, I do like for the books to have just a warm feminine touch, maybe you would call it. I don't know. When somebody puts my books down, these are not the grandma books. These are just little mini vintage books that we're making. The grandma books are big and they're full of all kinds of readings. And one day I'll show you some of my crates. You know, big crates that I just have full of poems and stories and just all kinds of things that I get all my stuff out of. But I want, when they put the book down, I want I want it to be the big grandma books. I want them to be books that you could spend an hour with, or a couple hours, or an afternoon. And then when you put that book down, I want you to walk away feeling like you've maybe even been on a journey back into time. Just feel warmth and you know, filled with your own memories, maybe that something sparked for you. But these are just little fun books. I don't even know how I got started doing these. I got started doing them at Christmas time last year, and I mean, I don't even know, dozens of these I made. Mostly Old Country Church. But that is, I do love this book, and most of them were on this order. Nothing is exactly the same. But anyway, that's the way. I just lay things out. Somebody said, do your pages match? No, they do not match, but I do like the pages to complement each other, especially if they're open like this. I want this page to complement this page and this page to complement this page. So there she is playing the piano, and here's an old hymn over here. Everything takes you back a step in time to real church. So that's what this page does. Now, this is what I've got set up for today. To work on today, if I can get to it. This day is crazy. already. But I'm going to use this Bible. I'll put some fabric in here somehow. I'll have some creepy cloth, some buttons, some lace. I'll probably tear around the edges of this. I do like torn edges. This just says the Heartworm Bible. And it's just a great, great poem. I don't know what else I will put with this, but there will be some words on here and just all kinds of things. I don't know. So just work on your page. When we get done with the book on Friday, over the weekend, if you want to, I'll start a new thread, and we'll, in the comments down under that thread, anybody that wants to can post a picture of any page in their book or the front or just whatever you want to do. It'll be a lot of fun, but I'll try to have these 2 pages done when we meet back here tomorrow. Okay, let's see. How do I choose a theme? That was another question. I don't. I lay out my stuff like I think I want to do a black book or, sepia or something like that. So I'll just lay out my colors, my fabric. This will be in my sepia colors. Some of these doilies maybe. I'll lay out my stuff, and I don't know how it happens, but the material there on that piece of linen just starts talking to me. It may take 24 hours. It may take 48 hours. And somebody said, PM'd and said they didn't have hardly any of the supplies. Oh, I'm up to 6.5 minutes, almost 7 minutes. They didn't have hardly any of the supplies. But you don't need a lot of supplies. You don't need hardly anything. You can tear up a newspaper. You can tear these pictures out of magazines. You can pull an old shirt out of the closet or pick one up at a yard sale for 25 cents and use the fabric out of that. And you've got old buttons. I know you've got old buttons in a junk drawer somewhere. You don't need anything. Old safety pins. Somebody also wanted the recipe for the rusting. I'm going too long. I'm going to go to 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. It is, I don't measure anything, but it's hydrogen peroxide, like you would put on a cut, white vinegar, salt. I forgot to mention the salt yesterday. I put it in a spritz bottle, those little spritz bottles. I showed you the purple one yesterday. I put it in that, let the salt dissolve. I put my metal pieces, my safety pins, my paper clips, and all that on a paper plate. I spritz it really heavy, set it out in the sun. You do need a hot sun. Set it out there, spritz it with all that, go back and do whatever for a couple hours, go back out there and spritz it again. And by the end of the afternoon, or 3 or 4 or 5 hours later, you will have your rusted stuff. So that's the way I do it. It works for me, and you saw how rusty some of my stuff was yesterday. I'd show you again, but I'm running late. At the end of the week on Friday, I'm going to give you a hint as to what we're going to do. We're going to do a September challenge, and it is going to be so much fun. It will take you 15 minutes a day, every day of the day of September. If you can, and if you miss a day, just double up or, whatever, but no more than 15 minutes on your project. We'll talk about that on Friday. Okay, so that's it on this. If you have any questions, message me. I'll keep tabs of it today as best I can, but this is going to be a crazy day. I had the camera way too close yesterday, and I'm so sorry about that. I will have to get the hang of this. So this is the poem that the friend wanted read. Memories, it says. Memories. I'll always remember the good old days, and that's really putting it mild. You can bet your boots I'll never forget things that happened when I was a child. When it was cold and stormy outside, the kitchen was a place to be. The oven door open on the old wood stove. We were as cozy as we could be. A block of ice in the old ice box, the hand pump at the sink. Doing homework by a kerosene lamp, using a pen and a bottle of ink. The clock on the mantel chiming the hour so we'd know the time of day. The brown and white dog on the old rug. Just sleeping the time away, or sleeping his life away. The aroma from the kitchen when Mama cooked homemade bread, jelly, and jam, chickens and dumplings, cakes and pies, fresh side meat, and sugar-cured ham. Dad's straight razor and shaving mug, a peddler's wagon that came each week, attending a little country church, baptizing down at the creek. Apples and plums, apricots and pears, peaches and cherry pies, cherry trees too, the squealing pigs milking the cows, and watching the chickens shoo. I try hard to remember what happened last week, and my heart begins to whirl. But I can tell you the truth, I'll never forget things that happened when I was a girl. Now, I'm 72, so I can remember all of this. I can remember the squealing pigs. You know, we had slaughtering day. I've milked cows, you know, and we've had chickens off and on through our 52 years together, and I had chickens when I was a little girl. You know, I have done and had all of this stuff. I can remember us all sitting around the old coal stove at night. We didn't have TV. We had the third TV in Massac County, we were told, in our county back in the early 50s, or maybe it was late 40s. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going over. It's almost going to be 11 minutes before I say bye. Okay. We'll meet back here tomorrow sometime before noon. I'll have it posted. Just work at your own pace. If you have any questions, message me. I'll try to get to you as quick as I can. Everything will be below. Thank you for watching. Talk to you tomorrow. I love you all.